Well, it's historic from a nostalgia point of view because, of course, this is or was the last reference from a United Kingdom court or tribunal. Gibraltar is part of the United Kingdom for member state purposes. The member state is the United Kingdom. So it's the last reference from the United Kingdom to the European Courts of Justice, and we know that because that is precisely what the Advocate General of the Court of Justice said when she delivered an advisory opinion earlier on this year. So it's historic from that point of view, but it's also a seminal and important decision as well, because it confirms that a ruling on state aid does not affect the ability of local authorities to apply their own rules in relation to tax relief. And Gibraltar as well has come out of this well because the European Court of Justice essentially has vindicated other parts of the Income Tax Act, in particular Section 37 of the Act, which allows for essentially a credit of tax where tax has been paid by that same taxpayer in another jurisdiction.
You say Gibraltar's come out of it well, but surely recovery of tax would benefit the government. Wouldn't this have meant that the government would have got a windfall?
Well, yes. The original decision meant that the government was essentially ordered to recover tax from 165 companies. And to the extent that any tax is recovered from those companies, that would have been a windfall for the government because, of course, the government had not charged any tax at the time in 2010, 11, and 12. The dates were. So yes.
I believe it's not loose change either. The figure bandied around was the government would have got around 100 million.
Well, I can't comment on the figure because I'm not sure whether, in fact, the figure is public knowledge or it isn't public knowledge, so I don't want to comment in relation to that. But yes, it is likely to be a substantial figure. This does not mean that the government is not going to be recovering substantial amounts of tax. The precise figure probably is not going to be known because, of course, this particular case applies in relation to this particular company, and the implications of the decision for other cases, in other words, for the other 160, well, it is 165 because this particular company wasn't, in fact, amongst those original 165. So the precise implications are not known. I would probably hazard a guess that the government would still be obtaining quite a significant windfall as a consequence of the original state aid decision.